The Spin-Off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in collaboration with Kiwi Bank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Science has never been more important as we confront the biggest challenges of our time. Explore postgraduate study in science at the University of Otago. Find out more at otago.ac.nz/PG Sciences.
Hey, have a big hone in your smoothie, Alex, and see if you can hold it down.
I'm actually I'm gagging just being in the same room as this smoothie at this point. It's so hard to be healthy.
Don't be healthy.
I can't spew live on pod. Not yet.
Kia ora koutou, welcome along to The Real Pod. My name's Janie, I'm joined by Alex Casey and Duncan Grieve, and there is a lot to get through today. We're going to do like a speedy news bulletin, okay? First of all, it's Screen Week on the Spin-Off. Tell us about it, Alex.
Did you say I was just dancing like Lance just then?
Just like Lance.
Just like Lance. Screen Week is a wonderful themed week dedicated to all things screens. We've had some great stories so far. Chris has written about the day that Netflix rolled into town. It's a really, really good feature. And a reminder that it was it's weird to feel nostalgic for semi-recent history, but it's weird to think about when Netflix wasn't here. And it was such a big moment.
It's such a good feature, and yeah, it was, and because I think I had grey market Netflix, like US Netflix, which was objectively better than New Zealand Netflix has ever been, but it was amazing, and everything, the whole world we live in began then, I think, basically.
It's really crazy. And it was only 5 years ago? 6 years ago? Who knows?
6 years ago.
Who knows what time is, as we've discussed at length.
Oh my God. We'll get there. We'll get there in real life. Real life has never been more and less real at the same time. Hey, we're doing, in honour of Screen Week, we're doing a very special recap of Celebrity Treasure Island tomorrow.
What?
I mean, it's every week is Screen Week on The Real Pod, isn't it? So,
true.
We're at home in Screen Week. Also, breaking news, Chris Parker is going to be joining us for an Insta Live after the show. So make sure you are following the Spin-Off Podcast Network on Instagram and do join us for that. So Wednesday night's show, the 20th of October, 8:30 p.m, join us on Insta Live. He will not be able to help but spill some tea. I feel like he's got a very shaky hand when it comes to the gossip.
This is exciting. This is a new alliance. Also, Maddie McLean goes live after Treasure Island, and we're coming for his space, his media space. We're coming for his media space.
It's just the new TVNZ versus 3 kind of competition as Maddie McLean versus Spin-Off Podcast Network on the lives.
I wonder if there's a way to combine the lives. If we invited him during our live to our live, if there would be some sort of live Rat King. It'd probably break Instagram.
Just chain it up.
To try it.
Speaking of the internet, facebook.com/groups/RealPod Corner. That's where you'll find, a bunch of really cool people having a lovely time on the internet. Some would call them fans. I wouldn't, because I'm too humble.
We call them cornies.
I would call them friends, Jay.
They're definitely my only friends at this point. Truly. Not even exaggerating. There's a new podcast on our network called Breast Assured. I really want you guys to go and have a listen to it. It's fun, it's funny, it's frank. It's hosted by Sarah Gandy, who's amazing. Just have a look on your pod provider for that. And finally, vote for us for Listener's Choice in the New Zealand Podcast Awards. It's the first year of them. We want to absolutely smash it. We feel like we have the most motivated fans ever. So please, nzpodcastawards.com. Go vote for the real pod. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. That's all the housekeeping. I'm exhausted. I can't talk anymore.
That was amazing. I listened to Breast Assured this morning, Jane, when I went for my walk up and around the Maunga.
You went for your walk?
Mm-hmm. Didn't see any celebrities, but I did listen to a great podcast.
Oh, thanks.
Highly recommend it. 5 stars.
Yay. And do you feel like you want to get to know your boobs better?
I feel
We'll work
awkward.
on you. We'll work on you. We've got 3 more episodes to come, and by the end of it, you'll just be like grabbing them during meetings. Okay, let's get into the news. Breaking news as of 2 hours ago. It's not even in the doc, guys. Yellow Wiggle, Emma Wiggle, leaving at the end of this year.
I
She's
thought
out.
she only just got there. I don't know.
No,
but
God, she's been there for eons.
she's married to the Purple Wiggle, isn't
Oh,
she?
Alex. Oh, Alex
Oh,
Casey.
shit. Sorry, I'm behind on the news.
No, they were married. I believe he's now, or when I last checked, which was probably at least a year ago, he was shacked up with one of the backing dancers. She, I think, had found someone else, maybe in the Wiggle world. I don't know. Anyway, she's on her way out. There's going to be a new Yellow Wiggle, which is very exciting. But man, what an end of an era.
How have they not made a reality show about the Wiggles? You know?
Copyright the spin-off 2021. Is it still 2021?
I don't know. I don't think this is going to legally hold.
Babies are happening. Brett and Angel from MAFS NZ, from season 1 of MAFS NZ. Are they our only MAFS success story? Oh no,
Carmen and Jimmy
I
are
know,
still
I'm
together.
the worst.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow.
Oh God. Anyway, Brett and Angel having a baby.
It's
That's very sweet.
such good news. It's such good news. And that baby better have a name starting with the letter D, because they've got Angel, they've got Brett, and they've got Cashew the dog.
Yes, right.
So
good.
place your bets now, everybody.
But also consider this possibly the second coming of Jesus. Because if ever there was a holy baby, this is it. So just watch this space. We'll keep you posted.
If Jesus 2 comes out, there'll be a huge, and probably bigger than when Jordan admitted the coin flip, if we'd actually broken that story.
Okay, another MAFS, well, 2 more MAFS babies actually. Bryce and Melissa had twin baby boys on Saturday.
Wow.
It's wild somehow. It just is.
I thought they were I can't get this. Is like the Wiggles all over again. They only just announced their pregnancy. Have we seen the babies? Like, is it bad that I'm like a truther? Like, I'm like, I don't think
Well, we've
it's
seen.
real.
I mean, we've seen some babies on Instagram. Like it was kind
Were
of
they
like
holding a copy of the day's newspaper?
No, and it was a faraway shot, and neither Bryce or Melissa were in the shot. So I mean, it could be fake news. Could be a big cover up.
It's just asking the questions.
Again, watch this space.
Congratulations.
Please stop asking questions, Alex. It can only lead you to bad places.
I'm sorry. It's just hard to reconcile what we saw on the television with real life.
Yeah, I don't think they should be allowed to have children out of Australian MAFS. I know that's quite a difficult one to enforce, but it doesn't seem like the show is set up for happy, lasting, child-friendly unions. It doesn't seem like what they're going for.
I do think, though, Bryce has a point to prove to the bitter end. He will, no matter how he really feels, will be in that relationship to prove it to all of Australia. and New Zealand and knew Duncan Grieve that he's got what it takes to, I don't know, stay married to someone.
It's really...
Take that. Take that, world.
Hey, great name for a bakery in Leeds in the United Kingdom. Get Baked. Lol. But they're in a little bit of trouble because they've had to stop using the sprinkles that they normally use. This is like a big story. It's just gone worldwide. They've been using illegal sprinkles. They've been importing them from the US, and I don't know who reported them. Like, what a killjoy. But they have had to stop using them because they contain some food colouring or something that isn't approved in the UK.
Well, it's approved, but it's only approved for use in like a particular type of like cherry and not in sprinkles.
Yes.
The thing is, I don't understand a lot about geopolitics, but my understanding is that Brexit was supposed to get rid of all this crap. And so, I don't know what's going on. Like the thicket of regulations that prevent you putting whatever the hell you want on your baked goods, still there years after Boris got Brexit done. So,
I mean, I think if anyone knew that they'd still be in this position where, years into the future, they wouldn't be able to get their lovely sprinkle bickies from Get Baked, the vote would have been very different.
That's right.
Anyway, so yeah, they're not replacing them with UK sprinks. They're just like, nah, not the same. The US ones are superior.
It's not drugs or anything, right? It's just
it's just food colouring. Food colouring that I would argue, if it appears in glacé cherries, is probably red, and probably the number of red sprinkles per cookie doesn't add up to anywhere near the kind of food colouring that would be in one of those bloody cherries. So...
Need the bad boys of Brexit to get onto this.
Wow.
Is food colouring made of beetles?
Just asking questions. Any question.
Isn't it?
We need a supercut of all of Alex Casey's questions so far and into the future.
I think it is.
Oh man, I can't answer that question. Sorry, not a scientist.
Can't or won't.
Neither.
Lucy Kelly is nodding. Let me tell you that. Food colouring beetles.
Hey, by the way, if you're missing any of these references, the Bad Boys of Brexit are courtesy of Gone By Lunchtime, our fantastic politics pod, which you can listen to, but not at the expense of this. And Lucy Kelly is an active member of the Real Pod Corner. Okay, so I'm just giving you some context.
And she's a scientist, baby.
She's a scientist and knows about animals and all sorts. She wombat poo. She knows everything. Okay, speaking of poo, in this week's poo news, a mum tells off her son for not flushing the toilet, but it's actually the cat who's not been flushing the toilet.
Jinxie cat.
So the cracker part of this story is that it was a teenage son the mother thought was not flushing. Like, my children sometimes forget to flush the toilet when they're like mid iPad game and just like, they're just like time is of the essence, Teenagers notorious for lazing around doing nothing, definitely have time to flush the toilet. But she thought, my son, it's probable, in fact, that he's not been flushing the toilet. They came home from a trip to find their tabby cat Rocket squatting on the toilet and letting loose.
Giving it heaps.
This is my dream. If my cat used the toilet, oh my God, I would be so happy.
I know, right? That'd be so great.
I would be so happy.
The shot of the cat laying down its best work is really, it's a beautiful, it really makes the story. I don't think clearly the story doesn't work without it, but we had our version of that with Leo, rest in peace, the recently departed, also known as Fuzzy Cakes, our very old tabby. He started weeing next to the toilet, which graduating from the rug, which was just an absolutely all-time terrible place to wee, to going right next to the toilet, which couldn't really be better. It
could be better.
Well, short of actually getting up on, I don't know how, obviously cat's very nimble, but the idea of Leo getting up on the seat and making himself comfortable and, a bluting. It's just not plausible. Even that cat that's a nimble creature to be able to do that.
I can't say that I've ever seen a teenage boy's poo, but I would hazard a guess that a cat poo and a teenage boy's poo present very differently.
That's exactly my question. Like, how was it how was it plausible that one could have been the other?
Do we know for sure we're talking about poo here?
Yeah, it's in the story.
It's in the story, which I've definitely read.
I thought you did your research.
If you want to see that picture, I'd say we'd put it up in the corner. We don't have to because Wayne already did. That's how we sourced it. Okay, in Dunedin bird news, which has insanely become a weekly feature, and it's not even because we've made it happen. It's just because the Otago Daily Times is reporting bird news so damn regularly that there's just we're not lost for content on this. So in this week's Dunedin bird news, firefighters had to pluck a duck stuck between two tree branches. The adventurous duck had been hanging by its leg for some time until the fire brigade saved the day with their big ladder. Once again, Alex Casey, do you want to lament for Auckland's emergency services?
I just want to move to Dunedin, where all you have to worry about is a sweet little duck.
The borders are closed. You're stuck here. You're stuck with the Auckland ducks.
Yeah. But thank you to the Otago Daily Times for their ongoing commitment to this coverage. I assume they're just doing it for us.
There was another emergency call out. It was real cute. I saw somewhere in one of the papers where like a 4-year-old rang up police. This is in New Zealand, and was like, "Oh, hello, I've got some toys I want you to look at." And then the dad picks up and was like, "Oh, sorry, I was dealing with the other kid," and the dispatcher's like, "It's fine, no worries." But then they actually did a call out to all units and was like, "Hey, if the any unit's available, there's a 4-year-old who's got some toys he looked at," and an officer went round and had a look at his lovely toys.
Aww.
Isn't that nice?
Shit.
There's part of me that wonders whether there might have been any sort of North Shore party or other similar incident that needed. No?
There's no way this happened in Auckland, Duncan. There's no way. The police around the rest of the country are just having a nice time.
It's got strong Dunedin vibes, to be honest.
The block houses are finally going up for auction. They could delay it no longer, so they're going to be sold, well, hopefully, next month. I think, when is it? November 6th is the date that they're holding the auctions, and it says that it will be broadcast shortly after, which is weird because normally we have them live, don't we?
The whole thing is weird. I feel like I've forgotten every part of the block.
Who was on it? Ling and Zing? Dills and Dills? Who was it? I can't remember a single name.
I can see them.
I can see them too.
The handsome boys. Artie and Tim.
Artie and Tim, there we go.
That's
Nude
right.
Tim. Remember that?
Yes, yeah, nude Tim in your garage cupboard.
So I have got a feeling like I think these houses are going to go for completely crazy money, and we should do some data journalism tracking block house prices, because Point Chev is they got it in the right spot, and houses have been in lockdown, unviewable, have been going for mad money. So I feel like it could be one of those. It's obviously going to be terrible television, because I don't know how you possibly make a Zoom auction look good.
It could be the greatest show of all time. It really could.
It could be like it could make Vaxathon look like a highly organised affair.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, there's very little that I have to look forward to these days, so I'll just pop that in the calendar and make a night of it.
Honestly, a TV event these days, I'm just incapable of deciding what to watch. That's why I was just like, okay, Vaxathon all day. That's me. When I have a clear night, it's a nightmare. Have you watched The Flight Attendant?
Yes.
No.
I thought it was really bad.
Terrible show.
Really bad.
Really, really bad show.
And that's what happens when you leave things up to choice. I'd rather watch the Zoom auction,
Yeah.
So then at least it's kind of not my fault.
Well, exactly. And at least Like the block auction will be sort of extravagantly, borderline intentionally bad, whereas the flight attendant was labouring under the misapprehension that it was sort of good on some level. Like it obviously had pulpy elements, but man, it was an annoying show.
Okay, well, we can talk about if we've been watching anything good, we'll get to that in real life.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. We can talk about the bad things. The news is always bad, right? This is actually, it's not all bad on the telly. Great Kiwi Bake Off premiered last week. Did you watch?
Why aren't we watching it? We used to recap it.
Duncan, we've been through this. I'll talk to you about it afterwards in production, okay?
I watched it and I loved it.
I loved it too.
And can we recap it? I need something nice in my life.
We recap it. Do you want to do a third podcast? We've got treasure.
But we could do it as part of this one, just a little bit.
Oh, you just told us we've got to keep this one like short and sharp. You've got meetings to go to.
Because then we can make the treasure one into the bake-off one when treasure's finished.
Oh my God, Duncan,
I know that we're doing
messy.
a little bit of pre-production. I think it can happen. It's like...
This is not pre-production, this is mid-production.
Mid-production.
The main thing was there was a giant poo cake.
That wasn't the main thing.
What's
the main thing was there was a tiny corn cake.
Oh, yeah. From Hamish Russell.
Hamish Russell, who
might have done it on purpose.
Yeah, this is what we're hearing, that there was potentially an Easter egg in the form of a little corn cake for the Real Pod Corner.
That's not a very well-hidden Easter egg, but I love it so much if it's true.
To me, it's an Easter egg because I don't believe that anyone surely would be so kind and loving as to basically sacrifice themselves, because at the end of the day, he went home for the sake of the corner.
Loved it. Shout out Hamish, gone too soon.
Oh, I know. I really want to. You do know how many people have said to me, do we know that guy? Do I know him? He's so familiar looking. And they couldn't place it. And I feel exactly the same. You're actually Facebook friends with him, Alex.
Oh, yeah, you would have met him.
Yeah, he's like friends with my sister-in-law, Ashley. They used to work together.
Oh, my
he's
God.
He's a lovely boy.
He used to work at TVNZ.
I feel like he might have worked at C4 once upon a time. I don't know. Anyway. He's a man of the people.
It's just good to drill down into this guy's CV, you know? Let's just air it all out.
I tried to find him on LinkedIn and there was not much information there.
Wow, shout out to LinkedIn. You don't often hear a lot of LinkedIn chat on the Real Pod.
Barkley Manor also kicked off this week. Did you see that? The lovely dogs.
I have not watched it yet. Livid, I actually had that exact idea and someone took it out of my brain.
Oh, well, I love it because I love dogs and I understand those who are obsessed with their dogs, and it is very much that show. I only got halfway through the first episode before I had to go to bed, but I did shed tears over Dudley.
Aww.
He's long gone. It doesn't happen on the show.
Okay.
If you need it's in memory of Dudley, the owner of Barkley Manor's life dog. You know, because you have a life pet, right? You've got pets, and then you've got the one. And Dudley was her one. You know who was my one?
Stella.
Yeah, not Pickle. Sorry, Pickle. Pickle's sitting right next to me, but he doesn't understand a word I say. It's extremely clear at all times.
If you suffocate in the night with Pickle just sort of staring blankly across your head, you'll know that was not accurate and that Pickle was harbouring grudges at all the Stella chat all along.
Given that he does try to sleep on my face, entirely possible.
Just saying.
Okay.
Oh, we got on the spin-off. We have a review of Barkley Manor written by a dog. So please check it out. Stanley Neville's debut. It's terrific.
Oh, Stan. I miss
Stan's
Stan.
a very sweet dog.
One of the things I miss most at the moment about being at work is that dog.
Yeah.
No offence, Pickle. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to get into real life.
Scientists are leading the conversations about the future of Aotearoa and the biggest challenges of our time: our land, ocean and climate, our physical and mental well-being, our food health. It's never been more important to understand science. At the University of Otago, you'll study alongside world-renowned experts and researchers. Explore your postgraduate options now. He heringa tangata, he tūhura kōrero. Find out more at otago.ac.nz/pgsciences.
Got any real life news? I know things are extremely exciting and dynamic at the moment. Anything at all? Duncan?
I can't remember what I've told you about my real life.
News.
I haven't got anything. This is going to be the shortest segment in the history of the Real Pod.
I've started gardening, sort of.
Wow.
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, like, sort of, I bought some seeds and I put them in little pots and I watered them and then they became small plants. And then I put the plants into some soil and I put mulch around them. And that sort of gardening. I don't know if that's gardening.
That's definitely something.
Sounds like gardening. Oh, good on you, bringing new life into the world. Well done, Duncan. That's amazing.
I just am feeling very discombobulated by reality, and there's something very comforting about... Like, I didn't know that I could do that. I assumed that seeds were sort of... I didn't know how... I knew that they technically worked and that some people knew what to do with them, but I just assumed that they were a degree of difficulty beyond me, and probably still are, to be clear. All I've got is some, cute little seedlings, but I found it so satisfying. Like, I'm doting over these little things. I'm profoundly moved by the when they pop up through the soil. It's just like my heart. So that's my main reality.
I can't wait for your plant pod. Duncan Grieve on plants. It's very, very wholesome. Meanwhile, over here, everything's extremely unwholesome in the sense I've given up and everything is dirty and gross. Yesterday, I had a shower after 2 days of not showering at all, which is the longest I've ever been without a shower. Even when I had
2 days.
2 days is fine.
That's nothing.
Yeah, but 2 days of just kind of festering, just being like I smelt bad.
Dirty bit.
What? What?
Just a cheeky old Black Eyed Peas reference for the fans at home.
I think one of the main reasons I really was hesitant to shower, and I think you guys will appreciate this given the conversation of recent weeks, is that I, for the few days prior when I was still showering, but had just couldn't be bothered squeegeeing. So I stopped squeegeeing. And so now I'm like, I'm aware my shower needs a clean. And if I have to have a shower, not only do I have to clean myself, I have to clean the fucking shower, and then I have to get back into the squeegeeing habit. But I forced myself. I'm taking baby steps. I forced myself to have a shower yesterday. I had a shower today. I squeegeed today, but I have yet to clean the shower. But one thing at a time,
That's great news. I've actually I'm in a war with my grouting at the moment. I'm in an absolute war with my grouting because what I've realised is that the tilers, it's all like uneven, so it never gets properly dry. So not only now do we have to squeege, we have to towel dry.
Yes.
And I didn't realise that for ages. So the grouting, which was like white when we moved in, has slowly kind of turned grey, and then parts of it started to get like mold from the water sitting on it. And I was like, not keen for this. So I did like the baking soda. This is so boring.
No, this is really good.
This is all I have in my life.
Baking soda and vinegar?
Yeah, I did the baking soda vinegar sort of science experiment paste thing. Let that sit on it. Didn't quite work. And then I did like Jif, like a star of Jif across the whole thing. And that kind of worked. And then I was really frustrated. So I got my toothbrush. I bought a new toothbrush from the dairy, got my old toothbrush, started scrubbing the grouting, and then I washed it all off, and it was blacker than before. And I realized my toothbrush was a charcoal black toothbrush, which I used to scrub the white grouting. And now I'm just in a complete hell of my own creation.
Oh, God, I can help you with all this, but I'll do it off air, okay?
I need bleach.
I can help. No, you don't. You don't. I can help you. Okay?
What about shower witch?
I honestly have hovered over buying shower witch on the internet because it looks really effective.
Hey, guys, remember
really
when we
effective.
used to, like, go places?
No.
And, like, there'd be people and food and music. Remember?
I missed that.
No.
Now we're using our toothbrushes to been grouting, and that's the biggest news of the week.
Oh, man.
This is so crazy.
It's also annoying. Okay, I think all of New Zealand should have to do this annoying stuff. I just don't think it's fair.
It's totally not fair.
I think that we would be doing better at all the things we're supposed to be doing good at if everyone was having a bad time. And I know that probably won't be well received by the cornies from outside Tamaki Makaurau, but I want it. So just something to consider.
Hey, listen, we had some feedback via email, not on this podcast, but on another one of the spin-off podcasts, when the hosts were talking about being in lockdown when the rest of the country were flitting about, having a lovely time with their lattes. And this person was basically like, it's not all about Auckland. It kind of is at the moment. Like, we can feel sorry for ourselves, can't we, a little bit?
How could you complain when living the wonderful life? How could you complain about the fact that we have nothing but our houses and our
If you can wake up in the
grouting.
morning and go out and see James Bond in a cinema, I don't want to hear any complaints.
The James Bond.
The James Bond. Whenever you want.
We don't want to report on the lovely time you're having, okay? It just makes us sad in our souls, especially now we're looking down the barrel of another 2 weeks of this for sure, and then who knows what.
Well, I feel like we're being told that it probably won't be still going at Christmas. Like, let's move on. Let's just get.
It's still fucking miles away.
It's just so long away. It's like as long away as we've been in it, potentially.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That is a hell of a thought. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Just quickly, let's talk about things that we've enjoyed watching this week in honour of Screen Week. I didn't brief you on this, so I may be the only one who's got something. But I've been watching Back to Life on TVNZ On Demand. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's a great little show. I love it. 6 episodes the first season. The second season's out as well, but I'm only just started that. And it's about a woman who spent 18 years in prison and then comes back to her little town for like a serious crime, and kind of just how she gets back into life. And it's black comedy, and I love it. So there's a little rec for you.
Love that. I've been watching, I watched Succession last night, obviously, blah, 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 good. But
No
what I really
spoilers.
want to talk about, no spoilers, is the show that Zoe introduced me to called Jailbirds, which is a reality show set inside a woman's prison. And it is like incredible, in like Sacramento or something. And it's so interesting. It's crazy that it got made. I feel like it's like probably quite morally dodgy, but they talk through the toilets to like, they've got like the toilets in their room, and they can bail out the water and they can have like little sexy time chats with the men on the other floors of the prison through the toilet like pipes. It's so interesting. It's on Netflix, Jailbirds.
How is that not leading the news? Like the 6 p.m. bulletin on TV1. Simon Dello is what I'm talking about.
Every time.
Wow.
Toilet phone.
Copyright the spin-off 2021. Duncan, you been watching anything good?
Just the same as everyone else. I watch Only Murders in the Building. I watch.
The hours go by.
I watch the same things as everyone else. The thing that I watched that was not the same as what everyone else watched was Of Miracles and Men, which is an ESPN 30 for 30 documentary about the Russian ice hockey team which lost to the US in the 1980 Olympics, which doesn't sound like the most exciting subject in the world. But this was like height of the Cold War, and this team was like, they had this amazingly creative, charismatic coach who like took lessons from ballet and made them like throw rocks at each other. He's just like he just made these like graceful hockey savants and completely redid the geometry of ice hockey. And it's like, it's just so interesting. And then there's basically this KGB coach comes in and tries to kind of smother the life out of them. And it's just a really, really good sports documentary if that's what you're into.
The great thing about ESPN 30 for 30s is that they're 30 minutes long, right?
No, this one's nearly 2 hours.
How does that work?
They made 30 of them on ESPN's 30th anniversary.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say it took you 30 minutes just to explain it right there.
Oh, that would have been really good. That would have been a great ownage. No, it's on Disney Plus though.
But
Check
the 30 for 30s are actually great if you're not like particularly sport minded and you want to impress some sport people. Watch those. They're actually quite good.
Oh, it's an amazing series.
Can I also recommend one more great documentary series on TVNZ, Spice Girls, How Girl Power Changed the World. It's a 3-part. It's so good. It's not just like corny nostalgia, because I mean, I was a kid when I went through it and I had no idea the tabloid shit that was going on, and kind of seeing it kind of as an adult how it all played out and how it was like Piers Morgan and all these different people were kind of like pitting them against each other, and then like the rise of Posh and Becks and how they got pregnant. Like I didn't even realize that like Posh and Scary got pregnant like pretty early on in the Spice Girls era, and it was it's so interesting. I think the last episode just arrived last night.
And Lorraine Barry's in that, right?
Who's that?
Lorraine Barry.
Is she the one that didn't make it?
No.
Dave Dobbin's manager.
She was doing like marketing for the label or something at the time. And yeah. So, Kiwi connection. Gotta love a Kiwi connection.
Oh, yeah, that is a Kiwi accent. Oh, okay.
Well, no, she's not. She's actually not a New Zealander. Oh. She just has lived here for a long time now, and she manages Dave Dobbin.
I like how this episode's got quite a few sort of things that we confidently state that turn out to be wrong.
Whoa, just this episode. Not like literally every episode.
I know
of
it's
the
a
Real
content
Body
pillar, but it feels like we've outperformed even our own general standards.
The metrics, eh?
Okay, I think that's us. I believe that's us, unless you've got a masked mountaineer cryptic clue for us.
I have nothing. I haven't seen anyone. Although I will say that my jar had a conversation with Lance Savali in the Mount Eden shops the other day and said, "Hope you're gonna win Treasure Island." And he said, "I hope so, bro." And then Joe said he ran really extra fast to try and look cool.
Oh,
he was on his run.
You, Joe.
I do
exciting.
That. That's so cool.
That is super cool.
It is cool. He's had a lot of good luck.
Speaking of Lance and Celebrity Treasure Island and all that, don't forget tomorrow night our episode will be coming out that recaps Celebrity Treasure Island this week. It's going to be in this feed. Also, we'll be doing an Insta Live after tomorrow's broadcast of... Oh, God, we're doing an Insta Live at the same time our podcast comes out. Just do one after. So you watch Celebrity Treasure Island, then you join us for the Insta Live, and then you listen to the podcast. That's how it goes. That's the order of events, okay? And Chris Parker will be joining us on the Insta Live. So make sure you're following the Spin-Off Podcast Network on Instagram. Okay, that's everything. Bookended it with some housekeeping, rammed some news, rammed some real life in there, lots of questions asked, lots of fake facts stated. It was an all-round top-notch potty.
I love that, like, reviewing the podcast at the end of the podcast is really amazing.
And that was the real review. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, IHF, for recording and editing. Thank you to Duncan and Alex for being, honestly, the only reason I'm still alive right now. And who else? Tara, who collates, researches, spends hours in the mire of breaking news to bring us these all-important stories. Thank you, Tara. Bye.
Bye.
Talo for Lover. I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spin-Off. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spin-Off member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.